So here it is, the legend, the myth. After a long 3 months of waiting, the Mini Moog, the Model D. For a long time I was thinking, what would I even say about the Mini Moog? I mean, there are so many videos out there talking about it with like good historical facts. So what could I actually add that was missing that can be interesting for you? And I thought I was just gonna talk about my real first impressions. And the very first thing I felt when I opened the box was like, oh my god, this is so big. Not the overall form factor. I have synthesizers that are bigger than the Mini Moog, but the knobs and the spacing between the menus compared to the instruments today or all the clones out there, it really feels like I'm in my grandmother's old apartment where the toilet was bigger than a living room, you know. It's so much space. I'm gonna turn everything off. Let me open up the filter and... And the thing with this synthesizer is that I don't dare to say it's too much sound, because that's what you want, but it always felt for me that with the other synthesizers, I was always wanting more, I was always wanting louder. And with the Model D, everything is so loud already. A simple sawtooth is so aggressive. So this was my second impression, like it's almost hard to tame it. This is one example here. A simple emphasis can resonate really fast. So you start to hear those classic sounds, but I'm not even cranking the knobs yet. The same with the noise, like if I turn the noise on, you get the whip from Devo right out of the shelf. Like you don't need to push it too hard. It's just to introduce noise and you get the splash. I don't know what to compare to. It's like playing in a valve amplifier for the first time. Like I said, you get there really fast. You get to those classic sounds that I used to hear from the 70s when you think of electronic music. And the harmonics. Another thing, of course, is the famous feedback. In this unit, the feedback is pre-wired, which means that I don't have to take the cable from the headset and feed it back into the external input source. So if I crank the volume a little bit, and if I remove resonance, you start to hear when I'm in number 7 here, 7 to 8. Here is without the distortion. And if I crank it really high up, then you even start to see the lead. But it's difficult to tame it as well. And I even say it in the manual, after a certain value you start to lose pitch. No matter where you play, you only get the loudness. So going back to normal levels here, I will turn on another oscillator. this was also something that I demonstrated on my jam there, that the intervals here on the tuner for oscillator 2 and 3 are really big. I was used to getting up to a fifth, and here you get all this interval on both ways. And in a way, the synthesizer is so simple. It's like 3 oscillators, a mixer, and then you have an envelope to the filter, an envelope to the amplifier. But it feels like I have to relearn everything. And that's because it doesn't behave like a modern synthesizer. The other trick I've tried it out was to use aftertouch. So this modern version here, the reissue from 2022, allows you to patch your aftertouch to different things like volume of the amplifier, or in my case here, the opening of the filter. Let me put it more sustained so you can hear it. So I've patched aftertouch here with a filter cutoff frequency. And there is a small potentiometer in the back of the unit where you can regulate how much will the aftertouch either influence your filter cutoff or your envelope loudness for the amplifier. Another thing that is very different about this synthesizer is that the amplifier envelope don't have a release, but then you have this decay switch here. I can demonstrate that. So if I turn the decay off, the amplifier envelope will behave like you would expect for attack, decay, and sustain levels. So let me put just decay. Let's open up the filter so you hear. So here you can hear the very fast decay and no sustain. And if I put sustain up, when I hold the note, you get a normal behavior. But when I release the note, you hear the sound ends up abruptly. So if I turn this decay switch on, now my decay knob will act as a release knob. But then attack continues to be attack, sustain continues to be sustain. So it's a awkward way to relate to envelopes like I'm used to. And of course, I have experienced before on my grandmother that the analog synthesizer can go out of tune. But this unit can get really out of tune depending on temperature variations. So that's why they included here 440A to serve as a reference for you to tune your instrument. So let's see how is the tuning going. So yeah, it was in tune. But for the first time I've experienced with a synthesizer something like I do with a guitar, that the instrument really goes out of tune depending on the temperature. And it's better that you check your tuning before you start recording. In summary, I'm really pleased to have the chance to play in such a legendary instrument, but it feels like I have to go back to the learning table, and soon I will try to come up with more videos for you guys on the Mini Moog. Thanks a lot for watching. Thank you guys so much for subscribing to the channel, and thanks for all the comments. I'm learning a lot with you guys, and I'm getting energized when you give me incentives to keep on doing the videos. Thank you so much.